McCollum Wellness Radio. In my life, there came a time when I had to make a choice. You know, the things just weren't right. I looked around for someone else to blame. I searched and I searched and I reached down inside. And I knew when I found there's a light I can hide. I can be free, I can be free. I can rise above, I can be free, I can be free. I will rise above when you're all alone.
Good afternoon, everybody out there in KSCO world. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum coming to you live from KSCO radio station. Amazing station. Needs all the support you can give it. So today's topic is, I found it quite interesting. A patient came into my office, and this happens quite often. They come in and they go, look, I went to a chiropractor 30 years ago. He gave me one adjustment, and I felt great, never had to go back until now. And there's a lot of water under the bridge, a lot of time and gravity wearing out the bones in that body. And it's kind of funny, you know, people, they want something cheap, quick, and high quality. And the funny part of it is you can't have cheap, quick, and high quality. You can have quick and cheap, but it won't be high quality. You can have quick and high quality, but it won't be cheap. And you could have high quality and cheap, but it won't be quick. So, you know, you just got to realize that our life and our health and our freedom and our happiness, our ability to live in a free country, our ability to produce, have a goal and go out and attain that goal, or a dream and attain that dream for yourself, for your family, for the other people that you love. If it's your profession like mine, which is helping people with their health, then it's, you know, that takes time. The funny thing is, and one of the scenarios that I see often is people come in and they'll, you know, they can barely walk. We're rated 47th in the world for health, and we're the most obese nation of all industrialized nations out there. So, you know, people have been going for the quick fix, which is often just medication covering up their symptoms. And of course, there's one out of every three TV commercials, or 2 out of every 3 is a drug commercial these days. And those drugs, as Dr. Jason Fung would say, if you could create a drug that didn't cure them, that didn't kill them, how long would they have to be on that drug? The answer is forever. So somebody counting beans up in the bean palace of the pharmaceutical companies figured out how many different products they can get people to be on that wouldn't cure them and wouldn't fix them. And it's become a multi-billion, trillion-dollar industry. Now, Western medicine is awesome for, you know, emergency medicine and, you know, fixing broken things and taking out bad stuff. The thing that we're not very good at, just based on the statistics, is helping people stay healthy and be healthy and understand what health is all about. So that's why I'm on the show. I really try to just get people to do something before it's too late. Don't wait for the other foot to drop and then expect that your health is going to just snap back. Taking a pill to cover up a symptom is not necessarily going to help you stay healthy. You know, when I was a kid, I remember the first time I went to the dentist, a very memorable time, getting your teeth drilled on and getting that Novocaine. Dr. White had hands as big as a basketball, and for some reason he was a pediatric dentist. But he would, stick all those 10 fingers in my mouth, little 3 or 4 years old, however I was, and shoot me up with Novocaine and then do the drilling. Well, nobody told me that that painkiller was, going to fool me. So I got out of the office and, my jaw was a little swollen and I kind of chewed on my cheek and I found out, wow, I can crunch my cheek. This is kind of like gristle. And I chewed a big hole in my cheek, not all the way through. But when that Novocaine came off, man, I was miserable. So I learned early on that covering up symptoms or masking symptoms is not necessarily the best thing for you to do. So I've never chewed the inside of my cheek purposely since. I've bit it a few times, but I learned, fast not to do that. So oftentimes people come into the office and they may have had a new injury or an injury that came about. They're not really sure why. It just started to come on and it didn't go away this time. By the way, the 6 most common words we hear in our office, the 6 most common are, I thought it would go away. The 6 most common words, I thought it would go away. And then it doesn't go away, or it comes and goes. And every time it comes back, it gets worse and worse and worse, stays longer and longer and longer. They finally get sick and tired of it, destroying their ability to do their hobbies, their attitude with their family, their kids, their work, their spouse, if they still have them, their work, their hobbies, their happiness, their ability to dream. When you're in pain, you don't have that. When you're in pain, all you're hoping is that it will go away. I thought it would go away. So We Can Be Free, the song written by Steve Funderburg, and you can find his music, lots of it online, any place you can find live music. And Tony Lindsay sang that song. Tony Lindsay, 8-time Grammy Award winner. I think he's got some pretty cool shows coming around. So look out for him. Amazing Bay Area guy. Sang with Santana for a long time, along with my friend Myron Dove, who was a bass player. I think Myron was playing on that song too. So at any rate, here we are. I want it cheap, quick, and high quality. And again, you can't have it that way. You can't get something cheap and have it be high quality and quick. Because if it's going to be high quality and quick, you're going to have to pay for it. It's going to have to be by somebody who knows what they're doing, they're competent, and they can get it done quickly. If you want to get it cheap and high quality, that's possible, but it's going to take a long time. It's not going to be quick. And unless you have a family member doing it for you, if you want to get something quick and high quality, it won't be cheap. If you want something cheap and quick, it won't be high quality. So the reason I bring this up is because patients oftentimes come in and they go, well, I've had this thing for a long time. And one thing I do that I find is very important is I usually will take a full set of spinal x-rays of a person because, I don't know where they've been. Half the time they don't remember the injuries they've had. And so often I find, grade 2s, 3s, that these bones slipped out of place in their low back from sports when they were a kid, something called a spondylolisthesis. We see degenerative disc disease. It's almost bone on bone. Scoliosis, spines that are bent one way or another. And it's been that way for a long time, just no symptoms yet. And that no symptoms yet thing is kind of like a cavity that you have, and you never notice that cavity till it got to the nerve root. And then it's usually right before you go on vacation or at 3 o'clock in the morning, and you have a final exam the next day, or it's the most unopportune time those come across. And that's when people come into the office, usually Friday right before vacation or Monday morning. We get the most amount of our patients walking in, calling in, saying, can you help me? Now, I got to say, most of our patients, we are predominantly a referral-based practice. So most of our patients are referred in by other patients that have had great service there. Our staff is amazing. The other doctor, Dr. Ziegler, Erica Ziegler, is really amazing, a huge benefit to our office. But when somebody comes in and I sit down with them and I ask them what's going on, how long they've had it, have this occurred before, what's the quality of the pain, is it constant, is it frequent, intermittent, or occasional, how is it affecting their health, their sports, their family, their work, all these questions, because people start to just get smaller and smaller and smaller. They shrink more and more and more into their shell, the more pain or in other diseases is affecting their health. But what's really funny, the way this country has been trained healthcare wise is insurance or no insurance. If my insurance doesn't cover it, I can't afford it. Well, I'm going to go into that in a second, but first thing we're going to do is go to my first commercial break, and we'll come back and talk about cheap, quick, and high quality, and how you can find any or. Thank you. See you in a second. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum, and I would like you to listen to a couple testimonials from my patients about our new TRT machine. You should come try it, but here's what they have to say.
Hi, I'm Lauren Spencer, a local realtor. Lately, I've had trouble with my feet, and I'm an avid walker, avid biker, avid golfer. And my feet were aching all the time. And I tried Duncan's TRT machine, which is an amazing stem cell machine that rejuvenates the cells. And my feet, I've had like 3 or 4 sessions with the machine, and my feet are like new, no aches, no pains. It's a miracle.
Originally, I heard about it on the radio, and I was a little apprehensive, but I came in and got the treatment, and miraculously, I mean, immediately I got relief. And we're talking about 3 years of 24/7 neuropathy, all kinds of pain, medical doctors, and in one treatment, it changed my life. I mean, it gave my life back because I was able to function and do things and not be in excruciating pain and get some sleep. And I'm going to continue to come back, and I highly recommend it to anyone.
So call today for your $49 introductory special on the TRT machine to see if it works for you. Call 831-459-9990. 831-459-9990. McCollum Family Chiropractic. Hi, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum, and I have this amazing patient, Gayleen, here, who walked into our office, well, barely walked into our office.
Hardly able to walk and bent over. And within 3 visits, I was standing up straight, walking. I couldn't believe it. That's never happened to me before. It's been a very rough road, but we're getting there, and I'm very grateful.
And you had 2 back surgeries as well, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah, in 1995. Yeah.
And so they didn't really solve your problem.
No, they didn't.
And you came in, we did some stem cell treatments on you and some chiropractic on you, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So you're happy.
I'm happy. Everyone here is just awesome. They're all here to help you. They're all so sweet.
You should listen to Gayleen, see if we can help your health.
That's right. Anyone that needs help, please come in.
Thank you.
And you'll know when you find there's a light you can't hide. You can be free. You can be free. You can rise above. Okay, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum back again. Love to listen to my patients talk about their wins with the stem cell machine. Gayleen's still doing fantastic. Lauren's doing amazing. And, it's because they realize quality of life is a commitment. It's something that you need to take care of. Do you know that we are the leader in opiate consumption? The United States eats 80% of all of the opiate
painkillers in the world. We're only 4% of the world population, and we eat 80% of the opioids. That is crazy. We're also 60 to 65% of us are diabetic or pre-diabetic. And so what's quick and easy when you have those kind of diseases? Okay, well, you can get some of those medications that Jason Fung, the endocrinologist, talks about, that they wouldn't cure them and that wouldn't kill them. So how long will they want to be on it? And don't stop taking any of your meds. Talk to your doctor about alternatives. Say, look, I'd like to be able to try to reverse this diabetes. What do I need to do? And you'd be surprised. Some of them know and some don't. But you can read my book, Turn Back Your Biological Clock, or New Hope for Sciatica, both found on Amazon, as well as my 4 historical fiction books. But, when it comes to healthcare, do you think healthcare is cheap? It ain't cheap. We spend billions on healthcare. But where does that money go? It's, the insurance companies are spending all that money and the pharmaceutical companies are making all that money. But our health hasn't changed in decades. It's still rated 47th in the world for health. The most obese country in the world. 65% of us are diabetic or pre-diabetic. 30 million of us have thyroid disease that we know of. And it goes on and on and on. 1 out of 33 children, men, boys, born in this country are in the spectrum of autism, and it's just not getting better. So if it ain't fixed, don't break it. If it ain't fixed, don't break it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. How's that? So at any rate, we're talking about when patients come into my office and they, I really try to spend enough time finding out how this is affecting their life. Because if it's just a quick fix they're looking for, I'm probably not the best office for them, because I don't feel comfortable doing that kind of work. Covering up the symptoms and sending them away would be like a construction guy coming in going, well, there's all these little weird things falling from the roof. And the guy goes, tears the sheetrock off the roof and off the walls and finds out that you're riddled with termites. And he goes, well, we could kill the termites, or we could just put more sheetrock up on there and paint it. What do you want? And I just put sheetrock up there and paint it. I don't think anybody would do that. Well, maybe if that's what you have to do right now on a temporary basis, that's what you do. But same with your healthcare. If you want to be healthy, and maybe right now is a time in your life where you're not able to do what we would call corrective care, and you need to just patch it up till you get there. But my job is to let you know what's going on so that you do know what to do in the future when you can do it. Maybe it's something you can't do right now. And oftentimes, there's a few different chiropractors that I refer patients to that would prefer to just go and get an adjustment now and then, kind of like plugging the holes and, not letting the termite pellets fall through the sky. No problem with that. I mean, that's where you're at, that's where you're at. But that's, cheap and quick. It's not high quality. So what we really focus on in our office is corrective care plans, which are, we believe they're high quality. We've got a lot of great reviews. The people that go through that, our goal is not to do something quick, but to take the body back, reversing the biological clock over time, so to speak, by getting the 24 bones in the spine moving better, freeing up the nerve impingement so that the nerve can do what it's supposed to do, which is heal the body. The best physician there is not on a street corner in Capitola, Aptos, Santa Cruz, any street corner on the world, or in the biggest, tallest medical building in the world. That ain't the best physician. The best physician lives right inside of you. It's your body's innate intelligence to survive. And it will survive as long as you don't poison it too much. When you look at a car, you buy a car and you keep it running as best as you can. Hopefully, we've all made the mistake of not, or missing oil changes, or when we're younger and maybe have less money, we take it down to the brake steel on the brake pads, and then we realize it costs a lot more than just replacing the brakes, the brake pads, when we could have. and or we keep putting oil in the engine when the red light comes on because we can only afford a quart of oil, but then one day the engine blows. So it costs a lot more to not fix it correctly in the long haul if it needs fixing. So I think one of the things most of my patients get is that health is something that you need to work on every day. One of my patients and a listener um, um, just put a comment up here that said, "We are what we eat, cheap and quick and potentially not very high quality. So our health is going to be a reflection," and thanks, Marcia, for that. Our health is going to be a reflection of what we cook and eat. Cheap food filled with toxins, glyphosate, all of the depleted of all the nutrients because it's so processed is not good for our health. It's not good for our bodies. So, by the way, I want to take a minute and say hi to Beth Montgomery out there in Marble Falls, Texas. Beth is 101 years old, and Elizabeth, my former spouse, is out there enjoying some time with her mom and her two sisters. So that's pretty awesome. And I believe you guys are listening. Beth is one of the original health rebels when we started working on getting people to get their health back. I think she was pretty young. I think she was 96 at that point. And she was 40 pounds overweight. We got her changing her food, ketogenic type of diet, moving in and out of that. She got off of her medications, and she was only on one anyway, and at 96. And she lost 35 or 40 pounds, still has it off. She's healthy as can be, as sharp as a tack out there in Marble Falls, Texas. And so hi to you, love you. It's great to see y'all watching. And my mom is listening. That's awesome. So I'll tell you another funny story about her, since she's a health rebel, and she's somebody that we should all take a lesson from. When she was young, about 75 years old, 26 years ago, she went to her medical doctor, and he took her blood pressure and said, "Miss Montgomery, your blood pressure is high, and I think it's time for you to take this blood pressure medication." And she looked at the doctor, and these are her words. She goes, "Well, I don't think my blood pressure is high." And he goes, "Well, Ms. Montgomery, I'm sorry, it is." She goes, "Well, I went home, I ordered a blood pressure cuff. I took my blood pressure 4 times a day for 4 days, and my blood pressure was not high. So I sent the findings back to that doctor with a note saying, I'm not taking those drugs, you keep them." And she's 101 years old, and she's still not on high blood pressure medications. So that's taking responsibility for your health. And if we all would take a lesson from that point of view or that attitude, we'd be a lot healthier country. So many people go, "I want to go to the doctor, and do you take my insurance?" Well, what if they don't? Well, then I just don't get the care I need. I hear that and I see it, and it's a way that we've taught our citizens, which is sad. Because if you take your car to the shop and he says, "You need a new spark plug and you need a new regulator and carburetor," you don't go, "Do I have any insurance for that?" "No insurance." "Well, I'm going to walk. I can't fix my car." Health is not in a budget. New cars aren't in a budget. Repairing stuff, dentistry is not in your budget. But, it is if you really think about it, because if you don't take care of it, it's going to cost more and take longer, and you're going to be miserable throughout all that time. So it's so important to take care of it and realize, very few insurance companies cover chiropractic anymore in California. Medicare is one of the best. They do cover some, but most of the other ones have sold out. Even if you have what's called a PPO, they've sold out to an HMO, and there's one particular one that's extant in this country and the state that basically won't even let the doctor take x-rays. So I x-ray because I find amazing things that need to be addressed. So this company one time audited me years ago, and they wanted, because I was taking x-rays anyway, And they audited me and they said, well, you can't take x-rays of this patient. I go, well, I quit your organization. They said, you can't quit. I go, what do you mean? I said, no, you can't quit. We're going to put you on a 6-month observation to see that you are going by these guidelines that have nothing to do with getting people well, but have everything to do with saving money for the insurance companies. So I said, okay, fine. So I just kept treating the patients. I didn't send a bill in for 6 months. And then I just absorbed all those costs. And then when the 6 months was up, I said, okay, I quit. And they had to let me quit. But, you know, that was a hard lesson for me to learn. This was several years ago, probably 20 years ago, maybe. And I realized insurance companies are not there to get people well. They're there to, and in fact, no insurance company will pay wellness care. They want to go, if you draw a slant on the left-hand side going up high to the right, and you draw a line a third of the way up, a vertical line, all they're supposed to do is get your symptoms out of the way. You know, really, maybe they're supposed to give you some appliances and this and that. But once you're doing what they consider well, they don't want to pay for wellness. So, you know, people, some of those insurance companies that will pay for 20 visits a year, it's not going to ever be enough when you have a major problem. It might put some sheetrock on the walls and cover it with sheetrock, mud, tape, and paint, but it's not going to get to the underlying cause, which is a degenerative spine from an accident you had as a kid, like I did, falling out of a tree, or a car accident, or playing sports and stuff like that. So, you know, if you want to be healthy, and I know everybody wants to put money away. I mean, let's put money away for our future. Everybody's concerned about that. Well, there is a legacy to leave your family. And there's a financial legacy. There's also a health legacy. You know that 1 out of 3 people are expected to have Alzheimer's disease in the next 20 years. Do you know that almost every medication on the market, and that's really not true, but there's several that have now been indications of leading or contributing to Alzheimer's or memory loss. So if you're interested in leaving a legacy of money for your family, why would you leave a health legacy of an elder parent who is infirm, who doesn't really know their name, who is on several medications, and because the younger generation can't afford to have them at the house, they have to be in some kind of living situation, which is not really happy a lot of the times because most people don't have the money to pay for those. And then your family is, you know, stuck wishing you the best and wanting to help you, but their hands are tied. That's a health legacy versus a financial legacy. Some of those financial legacies are being spent keeping the mother or father alive, when if they would have taken care of themselves early on. We've not been taught this. That's why I'm trying to let you guys hear a different opinion. Get healthy now. Don't wait for the symptoms to show up. Don't think that you're going to get out of this life alive. You're not. But, you know, get out of it as healthily as you can. One of my patients' mother passed away this week, 105 years old. She was very healthy until the last little bit, still living on her own. But this patient of mine is in the healthcare field. She is coming in as a patient because she's in a lot of pain, stress, old injuries. But, you know, when we sit down and talk about, here is what we see. This is your spine. These bones look perfect. This one looks like a 90-year-old and you're 50 years old. If this one fuses anymore, then it's going to put more pressure on those nerves. Now, you only have 31 spinal nerves coming out of your back. 31 on one side, 31 on the other. They divide and divide and divide till they go to something like 75 trillion to 100 trillion cells. So if you cut off one spinal nerve, that's 1 out of the 62, how many of those 100 trillion cells do you think that one nerve is going to coordinate? A couple, no doubt. A lot. It's going to affect the organs that it goes to, the organs in your body don't just operate by themselves. It's not, electronic signal that travels through the air. It's not Bluetooth. Your nerves, your organs, and every cell, organ, and tissue in your body operates through a hardwired nervous system. Hardwired. Again, it's not Bluetooth. So, yeah, I think there's probably some people working on that right now. So, in the meantime, the spine has been a mystery to so many people. Chiropractic is a mystery because it's never been taught. And it's really a shame. Only 8% of the people in the country go to chiropractors. 8%. That means 92% of you all out there are not taking hygienic care of your spine and your nervous system. Probably you're on medication. I mean, if you're over 50 years old and you are under chiropractic care and you're not on medication, right on. I'd love to hear from you. Email me at info@mccollumwellness.com and tell me your secret, because you're rare. And but it's so important to understand that in order to be healthy, you've got to change something. You've got to change. You can be free, but if you go down the path most traveled by, Robert Frost was pretty smart when he wrote that poem about, I came to a fork in the road and picked it up. That's not how it goes. It goes, two paths diverged in a wood and I took one less traveled by, and it made all the difference. That's the path left traveled by. Come talk to a chiropractor, find a chiropractor. Our office, we never charge to sit down and talk to you about your health. If we don't think we can help you, we'll let you know. I had a patient come in the other day who is, in pain. And unfortunately, she's not in a position to do much more than try to just handle her symptoms. That's where she is in her life. And I said, look, that's okay. You've got to do that. But it is important that you find a way to get your health under control. So you might have to put some money away to get your body health back. At any rate, so we're going to take my second commercial break, and then we'll be back in a minute to talk about cheap, quick, and high quality. How can you get all three? And there is a way. You can get all three: quick, cheap, and high quality. And I'm going to tell you the secret as soon as we get back from this break. Dr. Duncan McCollum, I'll see you in a minute. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum, and I would like you to listen to a couple testimonials from my patients about our new TRT machine. You should come try it, but here's what they have to say.
A year and 2 months ago, I got knocked down by a horse and I got a grade 2 pull on my hamstring. And from there, everything went to hell. I was walking 3.5 miles a day. I went from that to walking less and less because it was so painful, and my other knee started hurting me. And then I stepped off a ladder and jammed my knee. It took me the next morning 5 minutes by the time I stood up to get out of my bedroom. It was so painful. At the same time, I found out about the TRT from the doc, and I knew that that was for me. So almost feeling completely normal. So it's been great. I was walking stiff-kneed on one side because it was just flopping out of place. Now I can bend my knee and walk. I totally recommend this one time, and you'll just go, whoa.
You don't realize how much you use your toes for balance until there's no feeling in them. And so I've got the feeling back in my toes, and my balance is greatly improved. Definitely recommend it.
So call today for your $49 introductory special on the TRT machine to see if it works for you. Call 831-459-9990. 831-459-9990. McCollum Family Chiropractic.
This is Dr. Duncan McCollum here, and I have Pastor Mark with me. He came in and experienced the stem cell machine, the TRT machine, and he wanted to just go ahead and tell you a little bit of his experience. Yeah, I injured my knee years ago from sports and being dumb, and after the first stem cell treatment, after the very first one, I could do a full knee squat, and doctors told me that we want to replace your knee, and my knee would just ache just from sitting, and you probably experienced that if you have knee problems, but now, no ache, I can walk without pain, and when I sit, I had no pain, and I just love it. I'd recommend it to anybody. It's terrific. When we looked at your X-rays, your discs and your knees look pretty good too. Yeah, they're improving so much. I just love it. I can't wait for my treatment every week. Highly recommend it to anyone. So you'd recommend they do the $49 special to see if it will work for them? Oh, absolutely. That's what drew me in with the $49 special. I thought I got $50 to spend to just see, and it certainly has paid off. Call 831-459-9990. Thanks.
Around. Just try to remember the strength that we find. Oh, yeah. We can be free. We can be free. We can rise above.
Okay, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum. I'm back, and it's really fun to listen to these testimonials from the patients. Like Gary, he's doing great. He comes in on a maintenance basis. He walks. He's done the John Muir Trail completely. He walks up in the Sierras. He's well over. He's in his late 60s, if not 70. The other gentleman who's talked about his feet, Noel, he's coming in after he was gone the whole 3 years of this last debacle that we had. He came in because his back hurt. And I said, well, wait a minute, what about your feet? He goes, they never came back. They've been handled ever since we did this. Cheap? No. Quick? No. High quality? Yes. All right. So, it is what it is. This stem cell machine is so phenomenal. It is a sound wave machine. The sound comes out at 3,358 miles an hour, and it goes through healthy tissue, and it disrupts and sends a signal to your brain for unhealthy tissue. It creates anytime you have a healing injury, the first 1 to 10 days is what we call the inflammatory phase. So this machine creates a microscopic at a cellular level inflammation. And so the disrupted, damaged cell walls, they start to get basically dissolved. They get blown apart. It's called apoptosis. Well, that's programmed cell death, but this is more of autophagy, where the body's breaking down and eating the bad cells so that new cells, your body's own new cells, could come in. So the next 1 to 30 days is called the proliferation stage. And so the first 1 to 10 days is like you're digging up the dirt in your backyard and you're putting air, you're aerating that dirt, so it's getting kind of inflamed, if you care to take the analogy. The proliferation stage is when you're throwing seeds in the dirt, and then the next year is when your garden grows. So that's how your body heals every time. What interrupts it? Toxins, heavy metals, molds, hidden infections, chemicals, mental stress can also disrupt your body's ability to heal. So I promised you at the end of the break that I would come up and tell you one of the tricks that I've learned on how to find something cheap, quick, and high quality. So I will disclose that in just a second. But again, I wanted us to take a look at anything when you talk about your health, you're not going to find something cheap that's high quality, and it won't be quick. And if so, it's just temporary. Now you can take a pill, which is quick, and your insurance might be able to pay for it for you, but it's not really fixing the problem according to most of the people out there, especially Dr. Jason Fung and Dr. Dan Pompa. So is it really high quality, or is it just quick and cheap? The other one is, well, I want high quality and I want it to be quick and cheap. Not going to happen unless it's your spouse or family member who's going to try to take care of you. And I'll tell you, it's really hard to take care of your family members. They don't comply. So go figure. So the other one is quick and high quality. Well, you can get that. You can get somebody to come in and handle it real quickly, but it ain't going to be cheap. And if it is, I doubt it's high quality. So the reason I bring this up is when you look at your health, what are you doing to get your health where it should be? It's not going to happen overnight. It's not quick. If you're 50 pounds overweight, 20, 30, 10 pounds overweight, if you're on 10 medications, it's going to take a while to get your body healed. to get off of them, and you need to work with your medical doctor to do that. There's a lot of things that you can do nutritionally that myself and Dr. Pompa's group, which I refer a lot of people to Dr. Pompa's group now rather than doing it myself, because my office is relatively busy, and I just am unable to do those individual programs as much as I would like with high quality. So I'm asking some of my friends who that's what they do, if they would help my patients that need that kind of care, because we focus on chiropractic, and now the stem cell machine at my office. So how do you find something cheap, quick, and high quality? Well, there's two places that I know you can do it, and I'll probably get the names wrong, but a friend of mine is on Facebook in the morning, almost every morning, looking at the free stuff you can get on Facebook. And oftentimes it's quick, it's cheap, and it's high quality, it's free. And you can get, neat furniture or antiques or things that nobody else wants that look good in your yard or your garage. So, what do they say? One man's garbage is another man's treasure, or one person's garbage is another person's treasure, I guess would be the right way to say that. So, but I want to encourage you to do this. Assess your health, assess your energy level, your weight, the food that you're taking in, how productive you are, how many hobbies, if any, have you given up because the body's starting to fail on you? So many golfers don't golf anymore. A lot of surfers don't surf anymore. I'll tell you, man, a surfer who can't get on a wave, when they come in and say, I just want to get back in the water, that my heart goes out to them, because I can see it in their eyes. They're so want to be in the water on those waves. And when you can't, your arms don't work well enough, or your back doesn't work, so you can't pop up. I broke my back when I was 12, so I understand that. All you want is to get back on your gig. And whatever that gig is for you, the best way to be there is to be healthy. So we at my office now, what is inexpensive and free is in a consultation. So we never charge to sit down and talk to somebody about their health and find out whether or not we can help them. Now, I want to let you know, our office is kind of, we're not able to get people in the day you call usually anymore, unless there's a cancellation. And it might take 2 to 3, 4 days to get you in. Sometimes I'll ask my staff to get a little information. And if it's something that I need to refer you to one of my friends in the Dr. Pompa organization, I will do that. But if it's structural, then we're going to do our best to see if what we can do can help you. So don't hesitate to give us a call. We do have the $49 special on the stem cell machine, or the TRT machine. And the good thing about that is you get in the office, you get to talk to me. I had a woman come in the other day. Her legs were very swollen. She had knee pain, but she changed some medication in her life, and she had this edema. And so, I'm not going to be able to do a treatment for her that day until she goes to her medical doctor and gets that cleared. Other people come in and they've had cortisone shots, or they take, anti-inflammatories. We are unable to do the treatment for you with a steroid shot for a month, because it's disrupting what the stem cell machine would do. It's stopping exactly what you want your body to do, and that's to heal. It's the cortisone has got its own process that it does, but the cortisone never leaves the joints. It stays in there and leaches calcium out of the bone ultimately. So you should only ever get 3 shots if you're going to get any. So many times people come in and they say, I'm bone on bone in my knee, and I just kind of go, okay, well, let's take a picture and see. So many times, well over 50% of the time, it's not. So I don't know what their definition is and mine, but when I look through a knee and I see air, because soft tissue doesn't show up on an x-ray, and I see, a space between the top bone and the bottom bone, knowing that if there was nothing there, gravity would pull it together, and ain't bone on bone. So there's something that can be done about it. And if it's something that my office can do about it, I'll let you know. But we really focus on high quality at our office. We don't like to do anything quick. We'll try to get you out of pain as quickly as we can, but we want to let you know, or sometimes you'll never be completely out of pain. I tell patients I'm 66 years old. I wake up in the morning, and if something doesn't hurt somewhere, I pinch myself to see if I'm still above the ground, because I've had lots of injuries. I've done a lot of stuff. I've also been adjusting people for 35 years, and that takes a toll on the body. So at any rate, we've got a few more minutes here. Dr. Duncan McCollum, McCollum Wellness Radio. You can follow me on Facebook, Duncan McCollum. A lot of people tune into this show right now. And on Facebook every Saturday from 1 to 2. I also do record this on Zoom, and it goes up on all of my shows are on the YouTube channel, Dr. Duncan McCollum, as well as Patrick Sullivan down there in Sedona, Arizona, takes my shows and puts them out on McCollum Wellness Radio podcast. So you can find us and all this information in a lot of places. You can go to our website, McCollum Wellness Radio, and my goal is really to just try to get people to make a decision to change their health, because again, we're rated 47th in the world for health. It's going to take an act of Congress, as they used to say, to change the way we look at health. And I don't think that's going to happen. It's like turning the Titanic. More and more hospitals and agencies are coming on every corner in this town. When I was younger, I remember there was what they call a dock in the box over there by Cabrillo College. That was kind of it. There was Dominican Hospital and there was Watsonville Hospital. And there were a few places you could go. But now we are so brainwashed into thinking that we need to get a medication for this or that or that or this. It's crazy. Don't mistake me though. When you let your body go down a certain path and you have a disease, and it can be a life-threatening disease, you need to do the Western medicine to get that handled. If it were me, and I've looked at this, I would do as many alternatives as I feel comfortable doing. When I ruptured my appendix in November of last year, I was in the hospital for 5 days. Thank God for that Western medicine. And I was at the big hospital here in town, and I have nothing but great things to say about them. They took really good care of me. The doctors took really good care of me. So at any rate, the theme of today's show was what can I get cheap, quick, and high quality? And maybe you want to send me an email at info@McCollum Wellness or McCollum Family Chiropractic, and maybe I'm missing something. But if you want to live a high quality, long life with mental acuity and agility of your body, then you need to take care of the frame. The frame is the nervous system. You have 62 nerves coming out of your spine, 31 on each side. They divide up and go to 100 trillion cells. You damage those nerves, or you dull them, you turn them down like a dimmer switch, organs aren't going to work right. People have, kidney problems, liver problems, heart problems, lung problems, problems. And you can be free. You can rise above. You can do something different. You can come to my office and sit down and talk with me, see whether my office is right for you, or whether I can refer you to somebody who is. And it's just so fun. Our office is so fun right now. We have such a great staff. And when you call, you're going to be talked to. More than likely, B will answer the phone, perhaps Natalie, Mariah, or Arlene. And they're all going to say, "It's a great day at McCollum Chiropractic. This is Duncan. I can help you." And from that moment on, we're going to do everything we can to see that we can help you. And if that helping you means referring you to somebody else, then that's what we're going to do. If it means take you into our fold and do everything we can to help you, and you're ready for it, then we'll help you. The one thing I ask my patients is, look, when I go through the consultation examination and talk to them about their health and what I can do, and they say, yeah, that's what I want, I go, okay, I'm going to promise you this. I will do 150% of everything I can do to get you well. But I need to ask one question of you. Can you promise me that you're going to do everything that you need to do in order to get well? And when they say yes, we have an agreement that we're both going to work as hard as we can on this. Now, we're not perfect. Things happen, events happen. We're all in families. We all have communities. We all have different occupations that we do. So, but if you want to get well and you want to be healthy for as long as you can, if you're, I had a lady in her 60s come in that says, I'm going to live to be 90. I want to be healthy. It ain't going to be cheap, quick, and high quality. You got to have, somebody who's willing to take the time to explain what's wrong. And then you've got to be willing to make the change. So Robert Frost's poem, two paths diverged in the woods, and I took the one less traveled by. Take the one less traveled by. Look at everybody walking down the busy one. Their health is suffering. 47th in the world for health, the #1 obese country in the world. Our children are obese. 50% of our kids have autoimmune diseases right now. And that wasn't the way it was 60 years ago. All right, so it's been fun talking to you. As usual, I just come in and let whatever comes into me just comes in and comes out my mouth. And so some greater power is helping me through this because I couldn't do it by myself. All right, we'll see you all next week. Thank you so much.
We rise above. We rise above. We rise above.